Chapter 8 Plant Processes and Reproduction. Lesson 1 Energy Processing in Plants. Food, water, and oxygen are three things that plants need to survive. Xylem and phloem are the vascular tissue in most plants. These tissues transport material throughout a plant. Most plants make their own food, liquid sugar. After water enters into a plant roots, it moves into the xylem. Water then flows inside the xylem to all parts of a plant. Without enough water, plant cells will wilt. The liquid sugar moves out of food-making cells, enters the phloem and flows. It flows to all the plant cells. Cells break down the sugar and release energy. Some plant cells can store food. Plants require oxygen and carbon dioxide to make food. Oxygen and water vapor pass into and out of the plant through tiny openings in leaves. Plants produce water vapor as a waste product. Photosynthesis is a series of chemical reactions that convert light energy, water, and carbon dioxide into the food energy molecule glucose and give off oxygen. Cellular respiration is a series of chemical reactions that convert the energy in food molecules into a usable form of energy called ATP. Lesson 2 Plant Responses. Stimuli are any changes in an organism's environment that cause a response. Tropism is a response that results in a plant growth toward or away from stimulus. As a plant leaves turn toward the light, the amount of light that leaves can absorb increase. Touch. The response of a plant to touch is called thigmotropism. Have you seen the vines growing up a fence? This happens because the plants have special structures that respond to touch. These structures, called tendrils, can group around or cling to objects. Gravity. The response of a plant to gravity is called gravitropism. Stems grow away from gravity, while roots grow toward gravity. Photoperiodism is a plant response to the number of hours of darkness in its environment. There are three types of plants. Long day plants. Plants that flower when exposed to less than 10 to 12 hours of darkness. Short day plants. They require 12 or more hours of darkness for flowering to begin. Day neutral plants. The flowering of some plants doesn't seem to be affected by the number of hours of darkness. Plant hormones are substances that act as chemical messengers within plants. Auxins. One of the first plant hormones discovered was the auxin. There are different types of auxins. Auxins generally cause increased plant growth. They are responsible for phototropism, the growth of a plant toward light. Auxins concentrates in the dark side of plant stem, and these cells grow longer. This causes the stem of the plant to grow toward the light. Ethylene. The plant's hormone ethylene helps to stimulate the ripening of fruit. Ethylene is a gas that can be produced by fruits, seeds, flowers, and leaves. Plants produce many different hormones. The hormones just have read about are groups of similar compounds. Often two or more hormones interact and produce a plant response. Scientists are still discovering new information about plant hormones. Lesson 3 Plant Reproduction. Asexual reproduction versus sexual reproduction. In early spring, you might see cars or sidewalks covered with a thick yellow dust. Where did it come from? It probably comes from plants that are reproducing. As in all living things, reproduction is part of the life cycle of plants. Plants can reproduce either asexually or sexually or both. Asexual reproduction occurs when a portion of a plant develops into a separate new plant. This new plant is genetically identical to the original parent or plant. Sexual reproduction occurs when a plant sperm combines with a plant egg. A resulting zygote can grow into a plant. This new plant is a genetic combination of its parents. Alternation of generations occurs when the life cycle of an organism alternates between diploid and haploid generations. Pores produce from haploid structures. Pollen grain forms from tissue in a male reproductive structure of a seed plant. Pollination occurs when a pollen grain lands on a female reproductive structure of a plant that is the same species as the pollen grain. Ovule is a female reproductive structure of a seed plant where the haploid egg develops. Embryo is an immature diploid plant that develops from the zygote. Seed is an embryo, its food, its supply, and a protective cover. Stamen is the male reproductive organ of a flower. Pistil is the female reproductive organ of a flower. Ovary is the base of style, which contains one or more ovules. Fruit. The ovary and sometimes other plants of the flower will develop into a fruit that contains one or more seeds.